I've had well over a dozen patients, and there are hundreds of people like this that are starting to form that can go from stage 4 cancer, that's game over cancer, to stage 0. We can do this. And not for everybody yet, but we're beginning to see where the light at the end of the tunnel is, and it involves your immune system.
What Dr. Lee is saying is groundbreaking. Reversing stage 4 cancer may sound impossible, but as Dr. Lee's research reveals, it's not only possible, it's happening right now. In today's video, we are diving deep into Dr. Lee's revolutionary research on cancer, food as medicine, and how immunotherapy, combined with lifestyle changes, is reversing even the most advanced stages of cancer. Stay tuned to see how you can use these insights to fight cancer and strengthen your own health defenses. Truth is, our bodies are constantly fighting microscopic cancer. Every day our cells replicate, and each replication carries a risk of mutation potentially leading to cancer. But luckily, we don't see cancer developing in every single cell in our bodies. Why?
Every day, every 24 hours, there are 10,000 mistakes that are made in your body that your body doesn't catch, that propagate in the document of our body as it goes on. 10,000. Each of those is a microscopic cancer. A microscopic cancer is just that. It's microscopic. It's too small to be seen with the naked eye, but it's abnormal, and that thing could turn into a big tumor that could eventually kill you. So why don't we die from cancer all the time? Now, this is actually something that I see as a physician. I have a patient diagnosed with cancer. They always ask me, Dr. Lee, why me? Why did I get breast cancer, colon cancer, pancreatic cancer, brain tumor? A very, very natural question, and I do my best to try to provide an empathic answer to that question. But as a researcher, I have a more interesting question. Given the number of mutations that occur in our body every single day, why don't we get cancer more often? Why don't we all get cancer as kids? Cancer can happen in children, but not as often as we have mutations. And it turns out this was the great unlock for me in terms of health. The reason that we don't become more sick from all kinds of diseases, including cancer, is because our body is hardwired with its own health defense systems. So that we've got these swashbuckling defenses that are firing on all cylinders all day long. From the moment we're born until our very last breath, these systems that are inside our body defend our health, including the microscopic cancers, spots them, takes them out, kind of like a police cruiser patrolling a quiet neighborhood.
Our immune system is designed to catch and destroy these microscopic mutations before they can spread. But what happens when that system gets overwhelmed? As we continue to live our lives, environmental factors and lifestyle choices can compromise the very defense systems designed to protect us. For example, our exposure to toxins like plastics and unhealthy foods can lower our body's defenses, making it easier for cancer to take hold.
We are presently seeing the fallout of some of the not so good moves that we made in the 1950s and 60s and 70s and so on and so forth. So decades later, we're beginning to see the consequences, the devastation of things that happened decades ago. That's one side of increasing the incidence and prevalence of health conditions, bad health conditions.
These environmental hazards and food choices are weakening our body's defense systems, making it harder for our immune system to do its job. Dr. Lee's revolutionary solution lies in boosting the body's defense system using food and lifestyle changes. Imagine a future where the very foods we eat can fight cancer and strengthen our immune system.
That there's more than 200 foods that I've studied and I've written about in my books, Eat to Beat Disease and Eat to Beat Your Diet, that, I've done all the heavy lifting to help you figure out what foods are healthy that you could consider adding to your diet. But if you notice, I didn't actually give you a formula or a set menu on what to do for health, because the most important thing I want people to walk away with is that my humanistic approach to this is you should love your food to love your health. And if you could actually do both at the same time, you have to find out what are the foods that resonate with you. What do you prefer? What do you enjoy? So if you could look at 200 healthy foods, which is what I have in my books, and just take a highlighter or a pencil and circle them. Circle the ones you already love. Start and stick with those. You're already way ahead of the game. And that builds confidence that you're actually doing the right things.
Foods like green tea, garlic, berries, tomatoes, and leafy greens can actively starve cancer and support our immune system. They're not just tasty, they're part of a powerful defense strategy. But it's not just about what you eat. Dr. Lee emphasizes that exercise, stress management, and quality sleep are just as crucial in maintaining a strong defense system.
We know that if you boost your immune system with foods, with exercise, diet, lifestyle, you're going to actually make your immune defenses a lot stronger to patrol your body to wipe out those microscopic cancers. That's why healthy diet and lifestyle lowers the risk of cancer. That's why eating the right foods that boost your immunity can substantially lower your risk of cancer as well. We also know that you can eat foods that support, prompt up, fortify your body's natural ability to control blood vessels. Keep those blood vessels where they're supposed to be and get rid of those blood vessels where you don't want them to be, which is kicking in the cockpit to take over your circulation to feed cancers. So if you eat foods that are anti-androgenic foods, like out on staple, you've got coffee and tea. Both of those contain natural substances that cut off the blood supply and starve cancers. That's a good thing. So that's why we know what we do with our diet can actually help to lower the risk of cancer as well.
Our body needs all of these elements to stay healthy, and together they can help prevent and even reverse cancer. This may sound impossible, but as Dr. Lee's work has shown, it is within reach. Through immunotherapy, healthy foods, and lifestyle changes, cancer can be fought and defeated.
We're now at a point where we're beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. When my mother had cancer, she was 80 years old. One day, had some bleeding, went to the hospital. They found in there an endometrial cancer. That's a cancer of the lining of the uterus. The surgery and a little bit of radiation was supposed to take care of it. In her 80-year-old body, which, weaker immune system when you're 80. And within a few months after successfully recovering from the surgery, she had stage 4 cancer everywhere. Immunotherapy, the latest and greatest, I think, advancement in cancer treatment, had just broken through and become approved. Immunotherapy is not chemotherapy. It doesn't actually poison the cancer. Immunotherapy is a medicine that you give a cancer patient that wakes up your own immune system. Whether you're a young person or an old person, it can wake up your immune system. All right. And my mother had immunotherapy. She was one of the early patients that got immunotherapy. And her own 80-year-old immune system woke up like an army of super soldiers and went after that cancer. Now, we completely adjusted her diet so that her body between treatments would be as strong as possible, shields raised, as we've been talking about. Guess what happened? 3 treatments of immunotherapy, three weeks apart. So we're talking about a total of 9 weeks of 3 treatments, all right, of these 3 treatments. We scanned her, stage 4, went to stage 0, and she never had chemotherapy. Now, chemotherapy can be helpful too with immunotherapy, but this was where I saw firsthand, close up in my own family, the ability to harness your body's own health defenses. And we were to save my mom. She's 90. 91, 10, 11 years later, completely healthy, completely cancer-free. And by the way, this immunotherapy, if we could only get this to work as well for everyone, this is where we are in the history of medicine. We can see an end. We know how we can get to an end. We've actually seen success.
The journey to health and healing is possible for those who take proactive steps. Together, we can fight cancer and live healthier, longer lives. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe and explore more resources on how to take control of your health. Together, we can fight cancer and make informed, positive changes for our future.